I got home yesterday from my 3-day workshop, my Funk and Junk recording workshop. I had to take a load of gear with me, and lots of guitars, loads of amps. I had to sort of take my studio apart. For the longest time, I've been thinking about decluttering my room and getting rid of some things that I don't use anymore. Lots of equipment that just sat there that's just not being used. It's haunting me every time I go into the room to work. And I've decided the fact that I've sort of had to sort of decamp a lot of my gear to take to another studio. A load of my amps went, loads of my guitars went, and I had to sort of take parts of my studio, my computer, my interface. That all was sort of taken out and taken to another place. I've come home and this is what my studio looks like now. I'm going to show you. Hang on, here we go. Switch around, there's guitars everywhere. My amps are kind of, I just unloaded last night. I've got dog beds. It's like a bomb's hit it. So I've decided that now is the time to have a clear out of some of the equipment. I've got this desk that I've got that I had custom built years ago. Basically, I had this desk custom built a long time ago when I had my old studio, when I had a drum kit mic'd up, like permanently mic'd up. I had all of the rack spaces in this desk were full of hardware, compressors, preamps, reverb units. Over the years, the way I work has changed drastically. I do mostly guitar sessions here. People send me things to play on. So what I'm doing most of the time in this studio is guitar tracking. So I use my amps. I mic up my amps as much as I possibly can. So everything that I sort of use now is based around tracking guitars. So this desk, this huge desk that I've got, this thing, I know it's covered in guitars at the moment, but it's basically a glorified computer desk at the moment, and it holds my monitors as well. It's got my monitors on it as well. Got my computer monitor, and there's a few bits of rack gear that are sitting in the desk. You know, my interface, my Apollo interface, and my Cahayan amp switcher. But I've realised that I don't need that desk anymore. I can get by with a much smaller desk, and I can. So I arrived home last night, unloaded all the gear, was dreading coming back here this morning. I couldn't sleep. I went online and thought I've got to do something about this now. Now's the time to declutter, change things around a bit, tidy up the room. You know, cluttered studio, cluttered thoughts is how I feel about it. It's I've been putting it off for ages, and now I'm going to do it. So last night I got home, I sat in bed with my laptop and ordered some new speaker stands. I sort of did a little bit of a search online, ordered some of the Ultimate Support, I think they're called, speaker stands. They seem to be highly recommended for my studio monitors to sit on. Apparently when they arrive, I've got to fill them with sand and position them. And from what I gather, because my monitors have been sitting on the desk, even though they're on the ISO pads, I've got some Auralex ISO pads for my studio monitors. From what I gather, using these stands is going to improve the sound of the speakers hugely. Hopefully, help the sound in this room. My room does have acoustic treatment, as you can see. I've got plenty of acoustic treatment up in this room. I've got bass traps. I've got a little cloud above me. I've got stuff on the walls here, panels on the walls. But you know, the room was tuned to be able to mix in it. I don't do loads of mixing in here. Do little bits for my own projects, but mostly, as I say, I'm tracking guitars. So I've decided to purchase a very small computer desk that can raise. You know, I can change the height of it so I'm not constantly sitting down. The amp wall here, I'm going to have a shift around there. I've got this little cabinet that my amps are sitting on. at the moment. It's a mess, basically. It's a real mess. But I am going to move that along. I think I'm going to sit my combos on top of it. My Princeton and the Super Champ are going to sit on top of that. And I'm going to bring in my divided cab is down there. And I'm going to sit my amp heads on top of the cab. And I'm probably going to have a couple of... I'm going to slide this guitar rack down. I'm getting rid of a lot of stuff in this room. I'm going to sort of declutter it. So I just thought I'd do a quick video to say what I'm about to do, and we will jump to part 2. Hopefully, when I've done it. I've got a few deadline sessions this week, so it's not there's never a good time to do this, but the stuff's going to arrive tomorrow. So I am going to start decluttering, going to get rid of these guitar cases, going to unpack all my guitars and tidy stuff up, and get to it and declutter my room, because it's driving me insane. But so there'll be part 2 to this video. See you in a bit. I'm back again. The studio is yeah, it's a mess. Check this out. There's crap everywhere. But my desk is now gone. Sorry for the Blair Witch. My desk is now gone. I have a window open, and I just had to stop for a little while because I had a meeting. And as I left the room yesterday, so what I did yesterday is I set all my amps up there, the amp wall. But as I left the room, I looked back into the room and realised that I've got this lovely window open behind me. And I thought, let me just switch the camera around. I thought, actually, my sitting position and my speakers could go against this wall, and then that would give me, if I move my amps there, I'll be able to have the window open. I'm just thinking of changing round the position of my room a little bit. So it's going to be a bit of work. My desk has just arrived, so I'm going to put that together. My speaker stands are arriving soon, and I've got a new rack coming to put all of my rack gear in. You know, my interface and a few other bits and bobs. But I'm just kind of thinking of repositioning my room somewhat, so I can get the best out of it. And it just feels nicer to work in here. I'm in here all the time, but to be able to open the windows and look at the view outside, you know, might be quite nice for a working environment. That's what I'm trying to do here, is make it nice. I spend so much time in here, and it's chaos in here. It's absolutely horrendous. But it will be done by the end of today, and then I can get on with some work tomorrow. So, see you shortly.
Mr. Harris, what on earth is going on today?
I've started a new cocktail. It's called the Speaker Mojito. No, I bought these new speaker stands, and these are ultimate support. Bought them. They haven't sent me them. I bought them. And online, they recommend filling the channel in the center with sand. It's pretty cool, actually, because you fill one bit with sand, and then there's 2 channels here, so you can run a speaker cable up through one and a power cable up through the other.
What's the idea about the sand?
Because speakers vibrate. On the bottom of these speaker stands, they've got rubber feet, and on the top, the platform at the top has also got some rubber strips that the speaker will sit on. And what that means is that the vibration of the speaker won't transfer into the ground. You're getting a truer thing from your speaker.
Very good.
Either that, or someone's having a big old laugh at my expense. But I'm delicately pouring some special sand. It has to be a certain grain.
Here's some we had earlier.
It's one I made earlier. Honestly, that studio is honestly, my brain is frazzled. But it will be done. And when I start this kind of thing, I can't stop.
Don't
Even
I
though I'll
know
be
it?
sick and throwing up and having nightmares. But this is the last load of sand in here.
Okay.
I was going to say it doesn't, but I was going to
It's
joke that
play sand.
it needs to be a special grain of sand to cut down the root, but it's rubbish.
No, that's just your bog standard play sand, isn't
Bog
it?
standard play sand from.
So it's nice and dry as well. So otherwise it would be a bit of a nightmare getting wet sand in there, wouldn't it?
It would be.
Excellent.
But this has sat in the back of the car, this sand, for months. I was supposed to have done
weeks.
Weeks.
We got it on special offer for £2
And now,
from B&Q.
And now, so I don't lift it up and spill all the sand all throughout the house, I'm going to put the top on this.
Oh, thank you, darling.
Yeah. See? Up here for thinking, down there for dancing.
Excellent. Well done. Proper Blue Peter.
Hi everyone, I'm back. After a hellish couple of days, I have kind of finished it. My studio's kind of finished. There's still a bit of wiring up I've got to do, connecting my amps and stuff, but I have rearranged my room to be... I can't believe how much space I now have, or I'm going to have. I came in here yesterday after I've sort of finished filling my speaker stands, which you can see behind me here, and I realised that the angle of the room could be changed because I have not been getting any light through my studio windows here. So this is where I'd usually be sat. My desk was here in front of me where the amps are now. That was where the big desk was, and the blinds, because I couldn't really reach the shutters and the blinds, I was kind of missing out on all this. I wasn't getting any view of the outside world, which I kind of want. It's my garden. So I repositioned everything to be, if I just step back here, sorry for the Blair Witch stuff. So if I come into my studio, I got myself a little desk because I don't need anything more than that. Just something to hold my monitor, my computer monitor. I am getting a bracket to fit the large super wide monitor either to the wall behind here, just so I've got a little bit of distance, so I'm not sat right on the monitor. And also I like to have my computer open as well, so I can, I use console with Universal Audio, so it's great to have the console open as well as having Luna open as well. I bought a little sidecar rack here just to fit everything in that I want to have in here. I've got a Furman power conditioner, which I'm waiting for the stuff to arrive today. I've got my Apollo 8. I've got a DBX 168 compressor, which I'm going to get patched in. I've got my Chandler TG2 patched in. I did actually pick up an old SPX 90 reverb unit or effects unit that I want to try some stuff out with. I've got my API lunchbox here with my API 512Cs that I use most of the time for my guitars. I've got some Heritage Neve 1073s. Then over to the guitar world. Now, as you can see here, I've got an aux box down the bottom. I've got a Fryette power station, and I've got my Cahayan switcher there, my amp switcher. So that allows me to switch between 8 different amps into 4 different speakers here. Yeah, I just plug my guitar into the front here. That's amp 1, which is my Princeton there. Amp 2, which is the Super Champ. Amp 3, which is the divided by 13 JRT 915. Amp 4, which is the Marshall. I'm going to get this plugged in because I haven't used it for a while. This is the Big Trees. I'm going to use that as an amp as well. So basically how I'm going to have it set is I'm going to come out of my switcher and out of the speaker outputs. Speaker output 1 is going to be going into the Fryette power station. Now the reason I bought this, the Fryette, is because it seems to be the best attenuator to be able to get not lose the tone out of the amps. So even though you're backing down the volume, it's got valves in it and a transformer in it. It can take the volume of the amps down and then can put it into a speaker, and it doesn't affect the tone. I can't hear that it affects the tone in any way. So it means that I can mic up my divided by 13 cab with my mics and any other cabs I want in here, but I can back down the volume a bit and still get a decent guitar sound through the speakers. I love micing up cabs. I mean, for me, that's the real thing. Using the aux is great. It's really handy. If I'm having to work really late at night and I can't get the volume I need, then I would use the aux. But the Fry at Power Station means I can mic up an amp. I've got some great mics here. I've got a Royer, got some 57s, I've got a Bayer M160 mic. I like miking up amps and cabs. It's the real thing. It's the real deal. That's kind of what I prefer to do. You know, working on the new Jamiroquai album at the moment, I'm miking up stuff all the time. I mean, you know, the last couple of albums I've used the modeler, but you can't beat a real amp with a mic in front of it. However, the other thing that I can do with the Fry is that I figured out, I didn't know I could do this. Well, I kind of knew. You can take a line out of the Fry and go straight into your DAW, into your interface, and use IRs. Now, I use Luna. That's the software, my DAW of choice. I've used Logic. I used Pro Tools for a long, long time, and then as COVID hit, I think they released Luna the day that lockdown happened, and I just started using it, and I absolutely love using Luna. It's so simple for the way I work. It sounds great. I prefer the sound of it to Pro Tools and to Logic. Logic, I just can't get my head around. I know a lot of people use it. It's just not for me. Luna, it just means I can get sessions done really quickly, and it just sounds really good. But because of the no latency thing that you can do when you're using Luna, I think it's in the Apollo mode. They've got two different modes that you can record with. You can record either using the Apollo, which means the Apollo mode, which means you don't have any latency. You can use plugins on the input without any latency. I found out that if I put a Brainworks plugin like the Sir amps simulation, or I think there's a Pete Thorne one, or there's a Friedman amp simulation, they've got loads of IRs in them. So it means that I can take the line output of my Fryette. So say I'm coming out of my divided by 13, coming out of the line output straight into my Apollo interface. I can put a Brainworks amp simulation on there. You can turn off the amp part and just use the speaker IRs, which means I can record really nice signals using the IRs in. I haven't tried it yet, but I'm going to give it a go. And that actually might mean that I don't use my aux box anymore. So I'm just trying stuff out, and it's great. I'm so pleased with the way the room feels now. I mean, look, it's got loads of space. I'm going to have lots of space here for having people sitting around. Hang on, sorry, I'm switching the camera around. But look how much space I now have. I've got loads of space here now that I can use, loads of seating space. My amps are there. I'm also having all of this stuff removed, all of these fridges and cabinets removed. That's going to give me a whole load more space for either having more guitars there or just a seating area. I think it's probably going to be more guitars, because I am going to try and move these guitars over to that side where those cabinets were, and this will become amp corner basically. I can get a few more amps in here. I've got a few things that I've got my eye on. I'm going to be trying out the Marshall Studio range, which I did actually try out on a Marshall day the other day, and they sound amazing. Basically, you know, there's 20-watt Marshalls that you can, it means you can crank them a bit louder, and you're able to record them in a home environment. So, yeah, I'm really pleased. The speaker stands sound great, by the way. I got rid of my sub I had a sub speaker as well. That's gone. And I'm absolutely over the moon with the room. I've got some light in it, and it was just driving me insane. I had to get it done. When I took all the stuff out the other day from my workshop, when I got home, even though I was exhausted, I knew that was it. I'm going to have to put some time in and, pull the plaster off and get it done. So, yeah, I'm really pleased with it.